Hi everyone, welcome back to The Chosen One by Ashley. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for your support. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Today's word is God said you got married to the wrong person. He is doing a undo. You know, it's very important that you ask God who is your husband and who is your wife. You know, it's very important that you meditate and ask God this, because sometimes when you get married to the person, they may not be what you thought. You know, in the Bible tell us in 2 Corinthians 6:14, it says, be he not unequally yoked together with unbelievers. For what fellowship has righteousness with unrighteousness, and what commune has light with darkness? You got to make sure that you is not with unbelievers. God tell us, you know, we should always pray. When you praying, you can't miss it. You cannot miss if that person is not the right one. You won't miss it, because if you're praying, if you're seeking God, if you're living right, if you're living holy, you can tell if that person is for you. You know, sometimes we get married to the person because we trying to prove ourselves so we won't be lonely. It's not about you being lonely. It's about, is this person is for me? Do I really love this person? Do I really love him? Do I really care about his feelings? Do I really love her? Do I care about her heart? You know, when she have a baby, would I really care? You got to realize, when a man and a woman have a baby, they have a seed, you got to take care of that child for the rest of your life. You got to understand that when God had put you both together, you supposed to make it work. But God told me to say this message. God said you got married to the wrong person. He is doing a undo. He is doing an undo. That's why you cannot play. You can't play with marriage. You can get married and God can divorce you because it wasn't meant to be. That's why it's important. You got to seek the Lord and ask God who is your wife, who is your husband. You can get married all you want. You can't get married and cover up what you're trying to do. Because guess what? God always exposes the truth. People don't like the truth, but the truth is real. The truth will set you free. You got to realize you got to speak the truth. The truth will set you free. Doesn't matter what people think or what they say. I want to speak the truth. God is doing an undo. He's doing an undo to your marriage. You got married to someone, he's doing an undo to it. Because you cannot play with God's vows. You cannot play with the vows of God. He made marriage for two people. They supposed to do what God said to do. You know, you get married because of what people said or what people are looking at you for. It's not about what people look at. Oh man, boy, you 45, you still ain't married yet. Make sure it's the right woman. Make sure it's the right man. You can get married to a snake and don't know it. I've seen a lot of people got married, and some of them got married to their own enemy. I've been to a marriage when I was young. I seen a lot of people got married and had divorce. So you need to be careful. Make sure you get married to somebody that love you and care for you. And don't get married to them because they looks. You can't get married to somebody because they handsome or they beautiful. Get married because you want to take care of them. And you can see yourself with them for a long time, not a short time. You know, get some counseling, get some therapy, get some counseling from your pastor. Find a pastor in your neighborhood, your city, or wherever you at. Talk to him and say, look, I really like this person at the church. I want to get married to them. And I need to know, can you give us some counseling? Counseling just means understanding. Sometimes you need understanding, you know, and it's okay. It's nothing wrong with getting counseling. I want you to know it's nothing wrong with getting counseling. Sometimes you may not understand what she's saying, and she may not understand what you're saying. And sometimes when you hear a third person, and if it's your pastor, You know, always get somebody that's over you, that's willing to help you, not to make fun of you or anything. Get somebody that's over y'all, that can talk to y'all on one-on-one. Always get counseling, get some therapy. Make sure y'all understand each other, because a lot of people had got married and had a divorce within a year or 6 months. You got to make sure you get married to the one that God ordained you to be with. You know, a lot of people rushing to get married, but make sure God put you both together. Before you say you do, make sure it's the one that God told you to marry, and not because of you and your sin and your lust thoughts. You know, make sure it was ordained by God, and not about your feelings and about your thoughts. You know, you got to make sure everything come together as Christ has said. If Christ ain't say marry her or marry him, don't do it. Because I'm telling you, if you get married to this person, you're gonna feel like you just in a relationship that's not even for you. You know, a lot of people got married, they was with the wrong person. You know, sometimes you can be with, you know, somebody for a long time, and it don't matter. Your relationship ain't moving. You're uncomfortable. You're not confident within your marriage. You don't see yourself. I mean, people get married just for the title. You can't get married for the title. You gotta get married because I love you, and I love him. You know, that's how it's supposed to be. You gotta be like, I love you. You know, you gotta love each other. You can't just be with each other because of sex. You gotta be with somebody because you gotta be with them because you love them. You care about their heart. You care about their feelings. You care about them so much. That's why you tying the knot. You can't just look at it because, oh, I'm going to have sex with them. I'm going to have a relationship with them. You got to be with them because God told you that's your husband, that's your wife. Don't get married to somebody if God never told you to marry them. And sometimes when you're moving too fast, you got to watch moving fast. I want to say this. Moving fast, you got to pay attention. Don't move too fast if you're not ready. And I know that for my experience. You know, I have moved fast in my life, and you know, moving fast, you gotta check yourself when you're moving fast, because you think that that's the person for you. I thought somebody was for me, and they wasn't. They was actually my enemy. They was trying to set me up and lying and everything. Next thing I knew, they cheated. So you got to watch moving fast, because that's the one you thought that was the one for you. But that's your own enemy. So be careful who you say you want to marry. Be careful who the one you say that you want to spend the rest of your life with, because you never know. They may be cheating on you, doing stuff behind your back. Always ask God to give you confirmation. Always pray. Always pray and say, God, look, is this the one that you told me to be with? Is this the one that you said that this is my husband, this is my wife? And ask God, seek God and say, Lord, I love this man, I love this woman. I just need to know, is this the one for me? And God will tell you, I promise you, if you got to work on your prayer life. You work on your prayer life, God will answer everything that you need him to do. And I'm going to tell you, one thing I can tell you about prayer, if you ask God, that's the one for you, and listen, God will answer, and he will show you something. He will show you something. And when he will show you in a dream that man for you or that woman for you. All you got to do is say, God, is this the one that you told me to marry? And he will tell you. Don't get married because your church told you to get married. Don't get married because your mom told you. Don't get married because your parents put y'all together. Get married because it's the right thing to do. And get married because you want to take care. Listen, when you get married, you got to make sure you take care of that woman and that man. You got to make sure you take care of your partner. To death do you part. You got to make sure that's what God said. Like the Bible said in 2 Corinthians 14. 2 Corinthians, 2 Corinthians 2 and 6 through 14. It says, be he not unequally yoked together with unbelievers, for what fellowship has righteousness with unrighteousness, and what commune had light with darkness? You got to be careful with unbelievers. You know, sometimes you think that they are believer because they go to church or they worship the same God you worship. That's a whole nother lesson right there. Just because they worship the same God you worship doesn't mean that they a devil. Have you ever thought that? You can get married to anybody, but that can be your enemy. You can get married to anybody, but that can be a devil. That's why you got to watch who you get married to. Watch who you say I do. Because you will be saying I undo. So be careful with God. Be careful with your words. Always pray, ask God for confirmation, and He will help you all the way. Be encouraged. I love you all. Keep your head up. Keep going. And pray before you get married. God bless you all. Stay blessed.